Welcome everybody to the Time Rush Brain Trust. What is this, episode
8?
8? I was going to say 7.
Episode 8!
Aww. Alright, so we're going to bring it to...
Attack of the Clones.
No. Jeez. Let him do the horrible pun.
You know what? Thank you. Because this has been a really weird week. We're going to talk about why it's been weird. And this is also the final Road to Wrestlemania podcast because, you know, Wrestlemania is this Sunday. We actually have a special guest we'll get to in just a second. Start off with some introductions. I'm Nathan. To my right is Eli.
Yeah, we're out of order this week.
What's up? Totally are, yeah. And then to his right is Marquise.
What it is, folks.
And then to his right is Tim.
Hello.
Hey, Tim.
Howdy.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Tim? Like, why are you here?
Because I used to be a professional wrestler, kind of, sort of. Worked in the indies for 10 years. Worked OVW, TNA a couple times. Worked AJ Styles in TNA and Abyss and got destroyed. Worked for OVW for a year until they moved everything down to Tampa and no more for that. But yeah, so I wouldn't call me an expert in wrestling, but I've been around it forever. So
That's awesome.
You still keep in contact with a lot of the people, though, right?
Yeah, I still work. And actually, this will be news. No one knows this anywhere, but I'm actually wrestling again June 1st in Marietta. So.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it going to be one of the Throwdown for the Pound things?
No, they're doing actually a NWA Tri-State reunion show. That's what they're doing with all the guys from who used to wrestle there. So.
Let's see. Marquise, you may have been there when I went to that show. Because you were there, the Throwdown for the Pound, right, with...
Who's the name?
Daphne was there.
Yeah, you and I went to that show, yeah.
Was it Mickey James? No, not Mickey James.
Not Mickey James.
It was
Stevie Richards and Jay Lethal?
Yes.
I just did a run-in on that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so awesome. That show was good.
And what's the name of your finisher?
Desmond Destroyer. Canadian Destroyer.
Right, which personally I gotta say is one of the more impressive moves out there because come on, you're basically doing a flipping pile driver, and in WWE pile drivers aren't even illegal anymore. And then when they did the one, was it 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, Punk and Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't Vince basically lose his head because of that?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. See, we did one 2 chairs set up, ladder bridged off the top rope onto the ladder.
Oh my gosh!
Tore up my legs, busted a Mega Aaron Draven's head open. It was good.
Nice, nice.
Hardcore.
We're going to get
crazy.
into some more of your insanity here in a moment, but we'll start off with what you doing, Eli.
Well, obviously, this past week I played a lot of Bioshock. Finished that game up, finished the review for it. Check it out on the site. That game is fantastic in every way. I have nothing bad to say about that game. So definitely check that out. Read the review. I've been playing a little bit of Minecraft. I'm still digging deeper into Feed the Beast mod pack. Trying to get a hold of that stuff somehow and figure out how to make all kinds of crazy machines and link them all together so that basically I don't have to do anything. I can just sit back and let my machines play Minecraft for me, and then I just collect cool items. But, that's me being a ridiculous nerd. So
I'm sorry, it just sounds so lazy.
It does, yeah, it's awful. But the other thing I've been playing, still finishing up Luigi's Mansion. I'm on the 3rd mansion now, and that's still a great game. I'm still having a lot of fun with that. Just kind of taking my time with it and playing it casually, like you would a handheld game. Really, I mean that's the majority of what I've been doing. I picked up. Oh, this is awesome! I picked up Season 1 and Season 2 of Darkwing Duck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
And so I've been watching Season 1 and Season 2 of Darkwing Duck. Because it still holds up. It's still really good. It's still really funny. I thought maybe, hey, I'm 29. Probably not going to enjoy Darkwing Duck anymore. I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's still hilarious.
You spent money on it, though. You're like, I'm going to take a gamble.
But they're only $10.
Where'd
$10
you get it?
a season at Walmart.
Oh, Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy deal. They've got Chippendale Rescue Rangers and Tailspin also, so I might have to look at those and see if they're
That's the
still
Disney
hilarious.
Afternoon block.
I know.
That's awesome.
I know. It was a throwback all the way to my childhood. Like, and I was like, maybe it'll just be nostalgia. No, it's still really funny. Like, they were really well written, really well animated, and it just like really good, funny shows. Like, competitive with a lot of the stuff that's still on TV today.
You know, I was watching Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
It didn't really hold up, but that's not.
Batman Beyond doesn't really hold up. No, I agree with that. Regular Batman the animated series absolutely holds up.
Yes.
Like, that show's still great.
Awesome.
That show's still amazing. But that's really what I've been doing. I've been playing a lot of BioShock, going back and playing some parts of it as I was working on the review to try and refresh my brain as to what was happening in there.
Now, you also played another game that was long in the making. Yesterday, maybe.
Did I?
Battle Block Theater.
Oh, I tried. Yeah, I tried the trial version of Battle Block Theater. I'm not sure that I'm going to purchase that. Like, it seems like there's definitely like a lot of charm, and it seems really hilarious just based on like the intro cinematic and the narration that went along with that. Absolutely hysterical. And I definitely see the Behemoth's charm shining through on that, but it seems like without having a bunch of people to sit there and play with all the time, I'm going to get bored with it real quick. Like, and so that's kind of making me leery of a purchase. I might wait for a sale on that one. It looks great, and a lot of the reviews that I've seen of it have been very favorable, but they kind of had the same thing to say. Like, it doesn't feel like there's quite enough to it to be a full $15 on the Xbox Marketplace. So, I don't know. I might wait. I might not. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll end up buying it. You just never know. Like, my purchases, like, my digital purchases just go on a whim.
Yeah, I've noticed that about you.
Yeah.
You'll basically buy anything, but not in any way that makes sense.
Yeah. That's me. Yeah. That pretty much sums it up. That's all I've been doing.
Marquise, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been playing with the Warhammer 40k, which is pretty awesome. Space Marines are awesome. Chainsaw swords. The power axe it's so much fun.
It is.
I just run through the power axe. I don't even use anything else now. It's just so much fun. I chopped through lots of orcs. It was fun. I've also decided to replay Batman Arkham City.
Always a good choice.
Yes. So I'm into that right now, and I'm trying to 100% it on hard.
It's tough. It's really tough.
It's really tough.
It's not easy.
You'll take a break to try BioShock Infinite, though, after it becomes available.
Yeah, when BioShock Infinite comes back to the rental place, I will to the library. I will be sure to go and pick it up at the local library there.
Yeah.
Well, you also watched a movie last week, which we watched on a Friday.
Oh, we watched Dread 3D. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. I agree.
It was pretty good.
I liked that.
Better than it should have been, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be good at all.
I expected it to be awful, and it was
Yeah.
actually...
I was expecting to be pretty bad. I mean, just because you saw the Stallone one.
I am the law.
Now, see, I love that one. I love that one because it sucks so bad, and because it's just. But see, that's me. That's like I love things
that's like Street
that are,
Fighter.
Yeah,
it's like watching Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter. It stinks horribly.
that's my personality, though. I love, like, if something is so stupid that it becomes ridiculous and awful, I instantly love it. Like, I have no choice.
But to be fair, you actually thought Street Fighter was good for a while, and then you and I sat down and watched it again like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah, that's
oh,
right.
This is awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's awful.
it is awful, but that's why I liked it.
Quick,
that's why I
change the
thought it
title.
was. That's why I thought it was so great.
So much awfulness.
Raul Julia, man.
What else? I read Guardians of the Galaxy #1. Check the review out on the site. It's
Good
up.
review.
Thank you. I'm halfway done with your review of BioShock Infinite, so I'll let you know how I feel.
I just posted it a couple hours ago, so
Yeah.
So I've also read all new X-Men #10, Age of Ultron #4, which is really good.
Nice.
Bendis and Hitch are
Bendis is on a roll, man.
He is on a roll. When they took him off the Avengers and they put him on X-Men, it just like changed his game.
Oh, he's
all over the place right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost as good as his Daredevil.
I don't know how you produce that much work. Like, having something come out like every month, not just one thing, but like multiple things every month.
He's got Age of Ultron. He's got Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got all new X-Men. And it's just like
that's insane.
Plus, he has Powers FBI.
He's still doing Powers.
That's when you.
It's the new Powers.
Like that's how you tell. Okay. That's how you tell that somebody is like really got it together and is like super creative. Like is by when they can produce like that amount of work on a regular basis.
X-Men comes out twice a month.
That's crazy.
Like Hickman does. He does Avengers twice a month. He has
Hickman's
new Avengers.
Amazing.
He has Avengers. It's like, guys, just.
Well, Secret Warriors was outstanding, so the fact that he can just produce all this Avengers stuff that's going into the epic scale is really surprising.
Yeah, no doubt. And so, I haven't picked up any DC books in a while, which I'm regretting. Kind of. Well, I know.
Yeah,
after Damien died, I was kind of hurt. So,
I have almost caught up. And as soon as I do, I'm going to go get more Batman.
Okay.
Tim, I don't know if you knew this, but they killed Robin again.
I didn't. See, I'm a nerd in almost every way but comic books. Comic books, video games, I love Android stuff, but comic books I've never been able to get into. Don't know what it is. I went to Midtown Comics actually 2 weeks ago.
It's because you physically have to awesome. You physically have to go pick them up. Or, like, go out of your way to get a hold of a comic book in this day. Like, you can't just walk into any store anymore and pick up a comic book. I think that's why, like, people...
What are you talking about?
You can do it digital.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can do it digital,
I pick up my phone and I download all my comics.
It's so much easier if, like, it would be everywhere again.
I didn't think many comic book... Now, you guys will know better than me. Comic people like digital because you actually like to have the comic as part of it.
That's the way I am.
That's the way my buddies are.
No, I'm the same way, but at the same time, when I can't get to the store...
Yeah.
It's good to
tide you over.
Yeah. And when I'm going on long trips, I don't want to take my issues out on long trips.
Yeah.
I say, hey, I can scroll through my Comixology and be like, I want to read this. And
see, like the thing that they need to get together though is like if you buy a comic, it should have a code inside that gives you the digital version.
Actually, they're doing that.
A lot of the Marvel stuff has the digital codes in it.
Oh, if you get the trades. Well,
and look who showed up!
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, we have Steve.
We have a late arrival.
What's up, kids?
Here's a new challenger.
Nice.
Yes.
We're gonna make some room for him here. Bear
with us.
Bear with us while I scream into the mic.
Well, you know what? It's actually that time to see what Tim's been up to. So, Tim, what are you doing?
BioShock, like everybody else, of course. Amazing game.
I haven't been up to BioShock. I've been working.
Unfortunately, that's
like
my
everyone
problem.
Except
everyone else.
Won't be able to finish it because of that for a while, and trying to get back in shape so I can wear wrestling trunks again. So between BioShock and that, and a pregnant wife, that's about it.
Well, sounds
you've been
like
decorating.
Yes,
sounds like life took the front seat.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's really it. That's
it.
That's it. Nothing. That's it. Wow.
That stuff takes a lot of time.
What's sad is like wrestling. I skim it. I watched Raw in about 30 minutes today. So
I don't blame you because the last 4 Raws, 5 Raws, not so good.
You're not missing much. Not really.
Just promote.
And they're not even really doing a good job of that.
No. I still don't know exactly what's going on, but I know. But I mean, if I watched Raw, I wouldn't be sold on WrestleMania.
No, not at all.
We'll get to that in just a second. We'll start. Let's see, Steve.
What have you been doing?
What have you been doing?
Well, let's see. I discovered another free-to-play game on Steam called Warframe.
I just downloaded that.
And that game is totally awesome.
We'll have to play.
Yeah, we will.
Like you guys played StarCraft 2?
Yeah.
Well, fail.
I kind of got a job working 10 hours a day.
Got your beat 12.
Oh. Wait, we're trying to one each other? Republican.
First of all, let's introduce each other. Yeah,
nice to meet you.
I'm working about 17 hours a week.
I'm working 53.
Let's see. Writing some more stuff up. Actually, I am in the middle of writing up a campaign for a friend for Vampire the Requiem, and we'll need to talk about this later. looking forward to running something for all you guys on a semi-decent basis. I was thinking of Mutants and Masterminds, because I know how much you guys enjoy the superhero stuff.
Yeah, I'm down.
Post WrestleMania, our next big thing will be that until E3. So we're gonna do
E3
a tabletop
June
game.
10th.
And then
Yep.
E3, and
Maybe
then
we'll warm up between now and then.
yeah, and then I got back to League of Legends because a couple friends got me back in that game. It's not as bad as World of Warcraft because you don't have to pay for it, but it's like you stop playing, you're like, man, you get a social life again, you're like, go get a job, and you do things, then someone's like, oh yeah, this boss came out in this instance, and you're like, really? More purple gear? Oh man, I gotta go get me some, With League of Legends, you're just like,
It's always the same.
Oh yeah. But with Warframe, it's got a microtransaction basis. It's you can either farm mats and buy blueprints to build the stuff you want, like the new suits and things like that, or you can use your real life monies for some ungodly reason and
It's not terrible.
just skip ahead. It's not bad. I really enjoy the combination of gunplay and melee for every character. Every character's got unlockable skills and powers, and you just run around and cut dudes in half and shoot other guys in the face and complete objectives. Like sometimes you gotta go sabotage a reactor, or, that kind of stuff. The other thing I've been doing, I just logged in my 326th hour on Mass Effect 3.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
You're a
Is
champion.
that just multiplayer? Right?
That's multiplayer, man.
Yeah,
That's
not even a
champion.
full game.
Oh,
Main game.
jeez.
That is one of my favorite pastimes. I get home at 7 o'clock. I have just enough time to eat and talk to some people before I go back to bed, so I just log in and shoot some Reapers in the face, and it's all good.
I think that you should get a free date with Jennifer Hale out of that.
If that were happening, I would be exceptionally pumped, and I think my girlfriend would be okay with that.
I think she would be too. She'd be like, "That's cool. Take this."
It's one of those things where you're like, you get a hall pass, because
Because it's FemChep.
Femshep.
I never played a FemChep.
I play as default Shepherd. That is the Shepherd.
I have a save file editor that I created my own save file with, and I made this super awesome Femshep, and she's a biotic crazy person. I'm just throwing around all kinds of explosions, and everything just dies like that. I mean, you hit them with warp, and then you use flare from the Omega DLC, and you get this huge explosion, and things just die. And it's beautiful. Anyway.
He brought a tear to his eye.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, the game is great. I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully it'll be
Good.
the third one was good. Hopefully it'll have a better
The third
ending.
one was good. Hopefully the fourth one is great.
I'm looking forward. Hopefully it'll be a continuation of the story into the future with Shepard's sorry daughter. That would be just super.
That
super
would be-
amazing.
Oh well.
I'd be fine
In
with
my
that.
case, Shepard's human daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Oh.
with the Asari, she could be older. But
Oh.
I mean, Liara's touched you enough times. She could map your nervous system like several.
That is creepy.
Yeah, well, that's how they
No,
do
I
it.
mean, I know that's how they do it, but
Yeah.
still
Anyway,
creepy.
that's what I've been doing.
Nate, what have you been doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
Nothing.
Well,
No, let's see.
well, all right.
This
All
week-
right,
Next
well,
segment. I
moving
got the
on.
new releases here.
Let's see. I watched Arrow last night. Arrow was amazing. I watched the season finale of Justified, and
Amazing.
that was so awesome. And that's one of
Dark.
those shows that people need to be watching, and they're not. And I'm actually putting together a thing. I was going to be 10 things that are really underappreciated right now, and I'm going to make it like 20 because I found like 10 more things. So, you know what? Justified is such an excellent show. Timothy Olyphant, just his character is amazing, and the way he
Oliphant.
You mean Josh the Mill Light?
Dude, this guy is
Kmart friend just
way better. Way better.
The blue light special, Just Mill.
Yeah.
Oliphant's such a much better actor than Mr. Vegas or whatever you want to say, because
I like the Hitman movie.
Hitman was actually a decent film.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see Deadwood.
As games to movies go, that was actually one of the better ones.
Girl
Yeah.
Next Door. He's awesome in Girl Next
He was
Door.
awesome in that film.
Yeah.
He was just such a great
That is a good
scumbag.
He is,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's amazing in this TV show. I'm like, I don't really know what to expect.
The one-liners are awesome in that show.
Oh yeah, I mean it's better than an action movie. It's because it's based on a short story, done by the guy that did Out of Sight and Oceans. No, he did Ocean's 11, did he? But his name just
I
suddenly
can't
escapes
remember
me.
it either.
That dude.
Yeah,
That
it's this,
dude that wrote the
this
thing.
guy,
Which
this guy that does these things.
thing writing.
But he's an excellent writer, and John Travolta. He was in those 2 movies. One had The Rock, Be Cool, and the other one was before that. That name escapes me.
Oh yeah, I forget.
But anyways,
Be Cool. Get Shorty.
Get Shorty, yeah. The
Oh,
gentleman that wrote those, that wrote the stories for those films,
Those are great.
wrote the short story as like Fire in the Hole that they used to base Justified upon. And since
I need to watch Get Shorty. I haven't seen that in a long time.
since I actually lived in Kentucky, I found it really interesting to see them pick on Kentucky.
Same here.
You know, it's like ha 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 ha. Lexington's the only piece of area that I would call worthy of human beings. Ha ha. Sorry, Kentucky fans. I'll 1.5
no, that's
of you.
okay. It's okay,
I
Mike.
lived in Louisville and I agree. So
Yeah,
So did my sister and brother-in-law.
I visited Louisville one time and it was,
That was
alright.
awful.
But the
I had to move them down to Fort Myers. It was terrible.
I-
U-Haul trucks are not comfortable.
Elmore Leonard.
Elmore Laird, thank you. I lived
Thank
in
you.
Marquise
Random
with the
internets.
fact checking.
I lived in Pikeville, Kentucky,
The
and that
downfall
is
of
a
every
favorite
podcast.
place of TNA wrestling. They love going
I
there.
see that they go there all the
They're
time.
like Pikeville, Kentucky, at the Eastern Kentucky
Bingo hall.
Convention Center.
Yeah.
The bingo
Yeah.
hall.
Yeah.
Nobody cares Kentucky.
Well, you know the funny,
Well, nobody cares events.
the funny thing about that area is that it's rich because it's coal mining.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got all these like millionaires, then all these poor people,
Oh,
and
so you have the exceptionally wealthy standing on the backs of the broken.
yes,
Oh, that's like everywhere.
no, this is trust me, the dichotomy is
Is it
just
ridiculous?
so
It's like-
like the middle class doesn't exist.
And
there.
what would wealthy rednecks spend their money on? Pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're on the TV. They're like, yeah.
The first big band that came through, or act, I should say, was actually Kid Rock.
That makes sense.
And they were like, yeah! Like,
Kid
people-
Rock, man!
It was like a year after that I was living there, and people still talked about it. They're like, that was amazing. Okay.
And you're like,
This
wait,
week on the
what?
podcast, we
What?
talk mess about Kentucky.
What? I could do that every day. Every
Change the
day.
name of the podcast. You know?
This is the anti-Kentucky podcast. Burn! Also,
That
so,
escalated
To all you
quickly.
people that live in Kentucky, we are sorry.
aw, that you
Except for
live there.
Nate. Except for Nate.
The views of this podcast are not necessarily the views of the Time Rest Brain Trust.
This doesn't count as political or religious stuff because
that's just
I'm just
hate. Why are you so
just
hateful,
hating
Nate?
it.
Why are you
Democrat-
so hateful?
Because I don't have enough time to finish Bioshock Infinite. I want to
Because of
finish
Kentucky?
it. Well,
Whose problem is
Justified
that?
It did help.
That's not
you know.
Kentucky's problem. That's your problem.
That's my problem.
Oh,
I got.
snap.
There's always something going on in my life, but unfortunately, one of them was Monday Night Raw. So
Oh,
See, that's 3 hours that could have been spent on Bioshock.
That's 3 hours that could have been spent on anything
Anything
else.
Seriously,
I
I wish I
found-
could change my life and go back in time and take those 3 hours back.
Yeah.
But I can't.
I went back and watched the highlights from that. It was pretty awful.
yeah, the highlights were more
It
like
was super
lowlights of a good
distasteful.
show.
Yeah.
When you go, man, I'm glad. When
That
you feel bad
ending
for
was
watching
so
when you
I
distasteful.
love the ending
It
though.
was
feel bad
so
for watching the
awkward.
highlights, it's never a good deal.
Okay, you saw the ending of this.
I did.
All right.
It was so awkward and distasteful.
Dude, I
thought.
love it. So, all right, first
Dude,
off,
his his family signed off on it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's stupid.
What's up?
No, they shouldn't have.
They said it didn't go how they thought it would go.
Yeah.
I-
They probably got pitched something.
I like distasteful wrestling because I think it should be distasteful. Because why would CM Punk not be distasteful? It doesn't
He's
make
a
sense
jerk.
for him not to be.
Okay, so what happened? I did not miss this.
Oh,
you
didn't
missed
watch
the
it.
very
So,
end.
yeah.
Okay.
So Undertaker's out saying, "I'm going to get you at WrestleMania. I'm going to beat you up, whatever."
Well, remember the
Just
segment.
let me get my back brace.
Doing
and
some
he-
pretty awful smack talk.
Well,
like, not very good.
It wasn't very good.
It
the
was pretty
segment,
bad.
the segment was actually called CM, or was it Undertaker
Get-
eviscerates?
eviscerates.
Yeah. CM Punk.
Don't even.
Like that was the name of it.
We're not even going to talk
Ow.
about that right now. Okay,
That's kind of-
so Dong, the Undertaker music hits come out. The monks come out. The druids come out with the flames.
Undertaker's
And
already in the ring.
Taker's already in the ring, so he's like,
You hear
and
the
then- and then-
chanting.
you hear the chanting, and then all of a
CM
sudden
Punk
you-
comes out with the urn.
and then Paul Heyman Paul Heyman at Heyman Hustle. I give him mad props, man. He came out in full Paul Bearer outfit with a little mustache. Undertaker. He had to earn it. Taker's face was just like, I'm gonna destroy you. And he said, I'm gonna say Undertaker. So Taker gets out and he's walking up the ramp because he's gonna punch Paul Heyman in the face. Then he thinks about it for a second. He goes, wait a minute, where's CM Punk? You can see the wheels turning. So he grabs one of the druids and he punches him. And he's like, oh, wait, that's not Punk. And that's Punk comes from behind him. Doosh! He takes the urn and he's beating him with the urn. He's beating him with the urn. He's beating Undertaker with the urn.
Undertaker's now, like, laying down on the ramp.
Which that beating took way too long.
Yeah.
It was overdone. He
Yeah.
just kept hitting him and let him climb up, hitting him, climb up, hitting him.
Yeah.
And then he...
They were stretching. There
Yeah.
was somebody on the side going like this.
It was a short
You
Raw.
can't see it,
really
but I'm
was.
making the stretching
So
motion. with
he-
my
Yeah.
hands.
does he open the urn
He unscrews the urn.
and sprinkles it all over Undertaker?
He's pouring
He
it on
pours
his
it out
hand.
in his hand and then he throws it in his face.
Yeah, Undertaker's just laying there. He's like pouring it, and it just reminded me of Raiders of the Lost Ark when he was doing the thing with
was
the
real
sand.
dumb.
You know?
Yeah, the
Like-
weighing it.
He's like,
Bam!
If you see it, you'll think it's dumb.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And you know what? Okay, here's the thing. If Jerry the King Lawler... right now, Steve's shaking his head.
That's a face palm right
and
there.
his face is quite red with frustration.
That is a face palm.
But if Jerry
was
Lawler had died, all right, if Jerry Lawler had died from that heart attack, you know that he would have been cool with something like that happening. He would have demanded it from the grave.
Probably.
Percy Pringle worked a show with me at ASW down in West Virginia. He's the coolest dude ever. Like after the show, even like he's a name, even though he's just a manager, but he's a name. He went on everyone's Facebook and told them how good it was to work with them and stuff like that. Like dudes who are just no name guys. So he's obviously a cool guy, and so I'm sure he doesn't have a problem with it. Or wouldn't have a problem with it.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it could have been better. It could have been more.
I don't mind the
interesting, more-
distastefulness.
it could've-
I just mind how
it's
it
not
wasn't
that
good.
It's not
It
that
took too long and it was just awkward.
When
Like,
it's drawn out and awkward, the distastefulness turns into
Makes it worse, yeah.
awkwardness, and
Yeah.
everyone goes.
see, that was just the
what?
entire Raw.
Yeah.
It was all drawn out.
See,
and-
what
'Cause they
should
didn't-
have happened? What should have
Raw
happened?
does
He
not
should've
need to
come
be
down,
3 hours. They don't have
he
that
should've
much
hit-
content.
He should have hit him
or
in the
talent.
face with the urn.
Yeah.
Oh.
So where he should have been like bloody and stuff, like trying to avenge like
I'm sorry.
And then when they hit him in the face, he should have like risen up with the blood and ashes of his friend, like on his
blood's
face.
not allowed on network.
It
TV
doesn't
anymore.
matter. That's just the dumbest rule ever. And then he just
But you can talk about a guy's dead friend and throw ashes and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
urn.
Yeah.
And
So
then he,
let's do
like-
blood. I think
Yeah.
we're past that point.
He like
I mean, I
blood
don't
and
mind
ashes,
it.
and he
Yeah.
like raises up like he's possessed and just grabs CM Punk by the face
Yeah.
and shakes him like a rag doll. And
Yeah, like that.
throws him.
The storyline should have been that like somehow energized him or something.
So the Taker
crazy.
can preserve his streak and retire,
Yeah.
and just like obliterate.
Yeah.
First of
CM
all,
Punk.
he should have retired at 20 because now it's 21. That's weird. Now it needs to be 25.
Yeah.
So can he go 4 more years? Like,
No.
he wants to end at like
No.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah. He already had, like, when he came back to the house show, they had all the pictures. He already looked like he was about 7 months pregnant. He still
Aw.
had
Yeah.
his arms and stuff, but he's 50 though.
Yeah.
He's got the old man belly.
He'll
So.
be ramping up to WrestleMania 25 on like a wheelchair to try to like preserve the streak. It'll
This
be
is
ridiculous.
29.
Gotta
Yeah.
preserve the streak.
Well,
He'll beat you with his crutches.
to be fair though, he's still in better shape than Rey Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That tattoo's just letters are getting bigger and bigger. That tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good Rey Mysterio story. Rey Mysterio, when he got fired from WCW, worked in a tri-state show in Harrisville. What is that place? Harrisville. I forget the county. Anyway, not far from here, Harrisville, West Virginia. I went out
Ritchie County.
Yeah, it is. I went out to meet. We're all standing in the parking lot. I was like, I'm going to shake his hand. Because I was on the show too. Went up to shake his hand, and he said, "Hey, my bag's over there."
Oh.
I was like, ouch. I mean, I was only like my 5th match in the business, so this is a decade ago or whatever. But yeah, ever since then, I was like, I don't like this guy.
Oh man,
Like,
that
dude,
sucks.
you're a WCW mid-carder.
Yeah,
Could you
best.
shut up?
And his finish he did for the show, he worked Jerry Lynn. His finish for the show was a headbutt off the second rope, and that's how they went home. No Rana, no nothing. Headbutt off the second rope for the finish.
And Jerry Lynn approved this.
Oh yeah, Jerry Lynn's a nice guy. He'll do anything. So,
Aw.
He just
Yeah,
recently retired, by the way, Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, for the 10th time.
yeah.
How anticlimactic.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah.
people were, and he was still doing like he did the little horns on his head or whatever. He was
Yeah.
doing like the baggy velour pants or whatever they were at the time. It wasn't good.
He was going through that phase where
Viva la Raza.
he couldn't decide whether he wanted to be like completely lame or just like partially lame.
I missed him just wearing the luchador mask and he still does obviously, but and the just the tights, wrestling tights back in WCW. That's what he wore, and I respected him for that. I know he looked bigger when he was wearing he wears the baggy pants, but it looks stupid.
He's
It
still
did
a
look
little
silly.
guy, so
He's still a
Yeah.
little guy, and the E knows what they're doing with marketing to the children. Yes, the E will make. That's how they make their money. The E is smart.
How can he look that bad and fail a wellness policy that many times? Is what I don't understand.
what?
Well, they have a wellness policy for like drugs, and also you have to be in a certain shape, like you have to be healthy to wrestle.
Well, his wellness policy, he failed for steroids, which makes no
Yeah.
sense by looking at him. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he
Yeah.
failed for steroids,
and I think it might have been pain pills one time.
yeah,
He's failed twice.
he should be gone, right?
And
Technically?
third time's gone.
Third time's gone.
First is 30 days, second 60 days. and
Swagger's
then-
on. Swagger's on. He's waiting for his 30 day, right?
Yeah, it's probably after WrestleMania. He'll probably go on a 30 day.
I
don't know.
think if what happens with Swagger, I think he will win, and then Ziggler will come in and cash it in.
I tell you what, we're gonna just run through the news quickly, and then we're gonna get into predictions on WrestleMania.
All right.
So there's not a whole lot of news. Marquise, you only had a couple things. You
Yeah.
wanna just bang those out.
Big
real quick?
news that just happened recently. Robert Ebert died. So
Wait, Roger.
Roger
Roger
Ebert. My
Ebert.
bad.
Yeah, I was
Roger
like,
Ebert.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry. I don't have the paper in front of me, and
It's over there. Just reach for it.
no, I don't have the story on that one. It just happened like today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
He
is
was
like
70. He finally, cancer finally got the best of him.
Yeah.
It,
That's what I
it
said.
sucks.
Saliva gland? What they said? Cancer.
Yeah, I think it was something like
That's
that because he
brutal.
had most of his neck and jaw removed before, and
yeah.
it's sad. That dude did a lot. He published a couple things that I don't agree with, but the dude did.
He changed the review game.
He
We
did
wouldn't
a
be doing what
lot
we
of
do
work, man.
if he wasn't out there.
I could agree.
So I mean, condolences to his family and friends. He will be missed because I remember watching him and Gene Siskel, and when I was a kid,
Holy crap, I do too.
Yeah,
and at like 3 o'clock
Now I feel
on my
old.
network TV, and they would come on at the movies, and they'd be like, "Yep, okay, here we go. Teach me about movies.
Teach me about things that are good.
Teach me about things
and
that are
tell
good."
me why things are bad, and
Yep.
then I can disagree with you.
Yeah. But then that's just happened. Let's see what I got today. Robert Redford's joining the new Captain America movie.
he told me about that the other day. That's
Yes, he will be the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
it's pretty cool.
as Nick Fury, who's like their supervisor, I guess.
Yeah, I don't get that, but okay.
But
Well, Nick Fury wasn't
hey,
always
it's
the
Robert
head of-
Redford.
He wasn't always
It's
the head of
Robert-
S.H.I.E.L.D.
I get that. He's a talented actor to be in.
You know, he could play like.
anything.
Well, if Nick Fury was still white.
Well, see, I told Marquise when I was taking him home the other day. I told him, I said that would be like a good choice. Like if
Like
I don't know
1980s.
20 or 30 years ago, if they had said, "Hey, we're gonna make a Captain America movie," he'd be a good choice to play Captain America.
Would have been.
It would have
Yeah.
been about 50 years ago. He's like 105.
He's not 105.
He's close. He's getting there.
He was
he
old.
is fairly old, but
he was
like
old before I was born, and I'm
Yeah.
old. So
Well, I got a quote. He was
But that's
saying,
cool.
he was saying, the Captain America thing is just a simple thing. I wanted to do something different, something bold, different, and felt that it was a good thing to do. That was it. Nothing more to it than that. And it's bold in terms of expectations, I guess. And so, I mean,
he wants some of that big budget money.
Well, I'm
Money
also
collection,
thinking
yeah.
that
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving also isn't going to do the Red Skull again.
because he doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want to be typecast. I mean, he said, I did it. It's done with. Moving on.
he doesn't want to be typecast
But he-
as the Red Skull,
but
he
he
did
did
all
Agents-
3 Matrix movies, and he did
Thank
all
you.
the Lord of the Rings movies and The Hobbit. Like,
Yeah, but the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit are like ridiculous. But he did play a really good Red Skull.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
See,
saying,
that's silly. Like,
And he was Agent Smith.
you know
for
what
all
that
3
actually
Matrix
means?
movies?
What that actually means is they weren't going to give me the pay increase that I felt they should.
Or they were not planning on bringing back the Red Skull, so he decided to just duck out.
Well, it is called Winter Soldier, and it's probably going to be mostly against the Russians.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Russian.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Beat some Russians up.
I'm not a captain.
Russian-
There's definitely more to it than
Really?
just what
Russians,
Hugo
Hydra,
Weaving said.
Too flag waving for me. It's a problem I have with it.
Same thing with Superman. You know,
Yeah, it's kind of I get that kind
they're
of.
changing Superman though. So
He's a world power now. He doesn't
Yeah.
he's not for truth, justice, the American way.
Just
He's
truth,
for
justice.
truth and justice. And,
Yep.
Okay.
that's dumb.
Thank you. Yeah,
really?
it's dumb.
okay, we're not going to get into
dumb.
that. We're not
It's
going
the
to
changing a tradition. It's dumb. I hate things that are new.
Will Arnett is being cast in the new Ninja Turtles movie.
For who?
His role is unspecified as of
Casey
yet.
Jones.
That's what I was going to
If
say.
he's cast for Casey Jones, I'm gonna go
Is
down
it a
and burn that
comedy?
studio down.
I don't
Why
know.
haven't you
I think
burned
this
it
is
down
all
already?
a
It's a
joke.
comedy
Okay,
of errors.
hold on.
Aw.
They cast Megan Fox as April
April
O'Neil.
O'Neil.
Why is the
It's definitely a
studio
comedy.
still there? I think it was an early
Michael
release.
Bay.
Because Michael Bay, they give Michael Bay money for whatever he
Michael
wants
Bay,
to make.
is he not direct? I don't think he's directing it, is he?
Yeah,
Doesn't
no,
matter.
he's producing it.
He's producing it. So talk to the director, right?
Well, didn't he get rid of her on Transformers because I hated her?
because
But she came
called a
crawling
Jewish
back.
director a Nazi.
Wow.
She
Which I would've
she
kicked
came
her out the
crawling
door,
back.
too.
She's like, "Daddy, I need money." He's like, "Hey, he's sprinkling like cash. Follow the money, honey. Follow the
She's
money."
used to that.
She
too.
was probably
Yeah.
like,
Go wash my car. Go wash my
She was
car.
probably like, it's like, do you really need something? She's like, did you see Jonah Hex? I need all the work I can get. The movie was awful.
That wasn't the
I
worst
just had a
movie she's
baby.
made
I
have to
recently.
pay for my
That's the
baby.
sad part.
What is it then?
She was
That's
in.
when she's a
She was in This Is 40.
kills people and
Was it the
Jennifer's Body?
Jennifer's
No.
Body,
It
that's
actually
pretty-
wasn't
And
an
she was in
awful
This
film.
Is 40 with Paul Rudd
That's
and
how
Lindsay Mann.
that's how
Was she
memorable
in
her
it?
performance was.
Yeah, This Is 40.
Oh, I didn't see that.
She was in this other movie recently with Mickey Rourke. I'm trying to.
I got you.
She was in
I
she
turned
was in
off
the movie
network, but-
with
Was it The
fucking
Wrestler?
Mickey Rourke. Oh, dear
No,
God.
no, it was
Oh, I know which one.
Did
I know. I
if
can't
Mickey
think of the
Rourke
name
doesn't
of it, but
like
I know
punch
which
her
one
in
you're
the
talking
face,
about.
I've never seen that movie ever again.
You
I know
wish.
which one you're talking about.
He,
I would love to see Marv punch people more often.
Okay, what else you got for us, Marquise, while others look that up?
Finding Nemo is getting a sequel.
I'm excited.
Finding Dory.
Finding Dory. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
It was more like finding, you're like,
Passion
oh,
play.
it's about time that movie was really good. And
Yeah.
I guess Pixar was like, man, Cars 2 was horrible.
They're making
And-
planes.
And making planes.
Yeah, don't get me started on that crap.
And Dane Cook is starring in Planes, folks.
Yes, Sufi.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
No, not really.
I
They
Yes.
have to. They
they
have
should
to do
deep
it.
six
dude.
all projects and make a second Incredibles movie.
Yeah.
That
They're
movie
not
would
going to
be-
make a second.
Why
Incredibles
not?
movie
It would be
because-
amazing.
Because Pixar. Is
Because
working-
Pixar doesn't like good things. That's what you're telling me.
But let me see. Ellen had a funny quote, and she was just saying.
She posted a picture that said "Finding Dory 2." And then she said, "Is it too soon?"
Aw.
She goes, "I'm not mad it took this long. I know the people at Pixar was busy creating Toy Story 16,
Well played.
but the time they took was well worth it. The script is fantastic, and it has everything I loved about the first one. It's got a lot of heart, and it's really funny. And the best part is, it's got a lot more Dory. So, I mean, I'm down with
Dory was actually one of the better parts of the first
Yeah.
one.
I tell you
It was
what,
funny.
And the
I just
turtle.
want to cover one last thing, and then we'll get back to the WrestleMania predictions. I know
News.
you got. No, I don't care. But
oh, you got shut down today. He pulled
We have
the
to. There's
no,
some
no.
stuff that we have to talk about.
No,
like
no.
that happened. That's
You know,
big.
the big
quicker
one
than
is where I'm
Young
going.
Justice,
Oh.
man.
That's the one thing I want
Okay.
to cover. So why don't you go ahead and read that news? That's the
Okay.
last news story, and then we're getting back to WrestleMania.
Disney closed down LucasArts.
What? I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They laid off almost 150 people and closed the studio. They canceled Star Wars 1313 and the other Star Wars game that they were working on.
1313 didn't look that great.
Because they don't
anymore.
like free money? Is that
Well,
why? Is that
No,
the
Yeah.
actual
it's because
statement?
it's because the video game market is so.
They're switching it.
Different.
They're keeping the LucasArts name, and it's going to be used to license out the Star Wars name to other game companies to hopefully make better games. So basically, Disney was saying, "Hey, LucasArts always sucked. We're going to let other people
They've
try."
only made a couple good games.
They've made so many good
Battlefront. I like the Battlefront.
Battlefront's
one, too.
amazing.
Weren't they working on another one?
They said that
Loom.
3 times and never. came.
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, like all the classic point and click
Okay, okay,
adventures.
okay.
Full
Those were all
Throttle.
great. Full
Point
Throttle.
and click.
Rogue Squadron
welcome
was one of my
to
Rogue
favorite.
Squadron.
Rogue Squadron's
Like Rogue
great.
Squadron
X-Wing
games are
versus
amazing.
TIE Fighter.
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Guys,
is
those
amazing.
are great games. Welcome to the.
What
Welcome
about Masters
to the
of Terrascasi,
future.
man?
Dark
That
Force,
was- oh.
Masters of Terrascasi.
Actually, that game was
When-
awful.
Amazing.
When you can say,
Love
hey, EA, guess what? We want you to make a really cool Star Wars game. By the way, hey, because you got BioWare in your corner, say you got make a really cool Star Wars game.
KOTOR comes out. Yes, please.
Yeah, but
It's just sad because
have-
I mean,
you have KOTOR
you go
3
to,
to
I
9,
mean,
though,
you
and
can go to so many
Republic.
people.
I just don't
and
see. I
See,
don't see
I-
why Disney was motivated to make this move because
Because
it's a corporate move, dude.
Disney
because
has unlimited money, literally unlimited money.
It's a corporate move, dude.
I know
It's just
it's stupid. They have unlimited money and
perhaps they looked at their performance
they
over the last
fired
few
150
years
people
and
for no reason.
It
Pretty
sucks.
It
We've
does.
been in that position before. It sucks,
I've been downsized. It's not
but
good.
Yeah.
it's a corporate decision, and we'll have to deal with life.
There's a guy I went to school with that worked at ILM, not ILM, but worked at LucasArts.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Oh.
Joe.
it sucks. But that's the biggest news that I have this week. The only other thing I've got like the releases for next week.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's kind of
I'm not doing.
in a
I'm
way,
not doing
it's
this week.
kind of like it's kind of like when Capcom licensed Ninja Theory for
DMC.
DMC, and,
Exactly.
and it was a much
And
better
it's-
game.
I mean, you.
Okay,
Foghorn.
You know, there's also, you have two other examples. Dead Rising was actually licensed out to, was it Blue Box or Blue Castle, something like that? Remember? It's a Canadian company.
Yeah.
And Dead Rising 2 actually ended up being good.
It was good, but it wasn't better than the first game.
And then you also have Dark Skies, Dark Void. Was it Dark Void?
Dark Void.
The jetpack game.
That game was awful.
Brad Pitt fell in love with.
That game is horrible.
It was a jetpack game with, Gears of War fighting for some
I
reason.
remember
The game is
that
really
game,
horrible.
and it is not good.
Yeah.
It is a really awful
I wasted
game.
a rental on that game. Thank the Lord and the gamer gods above that I did
Didn't buy
not
it.
buy that game.
I might buy
Yeah,
it for
that
$5.
game is awful.
I would buy it for $5 so I could laugh as I play and then hurt myself by crying so much because I paid money for it.
I could just see you in the tub, like the water is, up to your chin, it's all red, and we just see you slit your wrists open with a copy of the game. Is that a little dark?
That was so dark and violent.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just kept listening to the podcast from last week when someone talked about the box from 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
You could break the disc and use the actual disc.
See, that would work, that's what I'm saying.
As long as you went up the street
I don't know
instead
what
of across
anyone's
the bridge.
talking about.
Yeah. That's for attention.
Going into some dark places.
yeah. Seriously, let's bring you back now. Let's
There's
I
only
blame
2
Raw.
releases worth noting for next week.
Which
Okay.
are
Shoot Mania Storm finally comes out of beta and goes into full release on PC. That game sucks, I think. I don't like it at all.
continue.
Glad you brought that up.
Dylan's Rolling Western, The Last Ranger, the secret to Dylan's Rolling Western on the 3DS. It's a tower defense game, but
Yod.
you run around and do stuff as well.
I
It's good.
regret you bringing both of those
Ask me
up.
why I care.
So anyways,
Man,
those are
it's
good.
like I don't have a 3DS or a care.
so we're going to go back to predictions.
You guys
We're
don't
going
even-
back to
you guys don't even like games.
WrestleMania.
I do like games. I
You
just
guys
like
don't
good
even
ones.
you don't even like games.
So, we've got a very interesting predicament in WrestleMania. We could go down the line, start at the bottom, and go all the way to the main events. But frankly, most of those lower card and mid card matches look terrible.
Well, not necessarily. I want to do that because
Okay, all right. Let's just talk
because
about it.
why not? We're here.
Right.
So so we're gonna go. Obviously, we'll go with the probably the match that started off with the Funkadactyls and
Wait, say that again.
the Funkadactyls and Brodus Clay and Tensai.
Funkadactyls.
Sweet tea.
Sweet Tea. That's what they call themselves now.
Yeah, he's Sweet Tea.
Okay.
His name is Sweet Tea.
He used to be Tensai, used to be Prince Albert, and then...
Okay.
Yeah, he's
And-
Sweet
and-
Tea.
His name is
then-
Sweet Tea.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it is.
and they're going against the team of Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins, who the Bella Twins just got hired back and already back in WrestleMania, and Caitlyn is the Divas champion, and she's not even booked yet.
Well, they said they might put her in the Team Hell No match versus, was it Biggie and Ziggy?
She's the Divas champion.
with AJ.
They're putting the greatest diva of our era in the Hall of Fame this weekend, and the Divas champion is not wrestling.
Well, if she had a quarter of the talent Trish had, maybe.
Aww.
Wah, wah. I don't know.
Point taken.
Yeah,
Point taken.
but the belt should matter. I'm
The belt should matter.
with you. I'm with
It
you.
should still be the women's title.
The
Yeah.
match itself does not sound interesting. When you said Funkadactyl, I totally shut my brain off and stopped caring.
It's like they have their own Fly Girls.
Well, when he
That's
also
really-
said that
yeah.
And that's gonna be
Sweet Tea was wrestling, I was like, I'm not even.
that's gonna be the
caring.
feel good match of the night. I think
There's
gonna
a
dance
feel good
around.
they're gonna
match.
dance around.
They're gonna
It's
dance
gonna-
around.
It's going to get the kiddies involved, and it's gonna get a lot of the people dancing and happy because it's gonna be a heel night. WrestleMania is gonna be a heel night, guys.
Well, all right. Last
Yes,
year,
that's why I'd rather just set up, an event on 2013 and
you need WWE 13.
yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna be having that right beside the actual.
and be more in. I will probably pay more attention to the computer fake wrestling itself as opposed to the normal wrestling on the pay-per-view, which is going to be awful.
I think there's potential for some good matches. I think that actually the pre-show match with what's his face, Barrett and The Miz.
That's the pre-show match.
That's the pre-show match for the
They're
year.
not even getting billed. Oh, that's just awful.
See, they should get rid of that.
They
Yeah,
should get rid of that.
Delics or whatever and have them work.
Yeah, that should be in the pre-show thing.
That's just
2
years ago. Miz was headlining Mania.
I know.
Wade Barrett stole Chris Hero's finish. I don't know if you guys know who Chris Hero is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in WWE now, and he steals his finish while he's using it on NXT. So, and then no one did anything about it. Now Chris Hero's just doing something else instead. So
Yeah, pretty
Wow.
much. Like, I was here first, I get your finisher. I guess. Whatever, dude. Oh, all right.
You're on TV, I'm not. So what do you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
yeah.
One of us is on NXT, which is next spelled incorrectly, and the other is on
Well, NXT has
primetime.
probably got way better wrestling than.
The work's
Raw.
the work's really good. Yeah.
I mean, because they got some really good people down there training them too. So I mean,
Well, we can talk about this match. Look at the Shield. Those are three guys that were brought up. Obviously they had wrestling backgrounds before NXT, but they're
Dean Ambrose was my tag partner in Ohio. We had titles for a year.
That's
it's
awesome.
crazy.
He was John Moxley at the time. But you know what's funny? This is a good Dean Ambrose story. I'll make it quick. But we're up there and we're working, and one of the guys in the locker room said, told him, said, "You look a lot like Ted DiBiase Jr." Because he does kind of. And
Yeah.
he goes, "Who's that?" I didn't know. And he's been wrestling on for years, a couple years on Raw now. He goes, "Oh, I don't watch that stuff." So it's funny John Moxley didn't watch it, but now he actually is part of it.
he's actually one of the better talents on
He's
there.
amazing. His promos are so good, and the indies ridiculous. So if he gets a chance, he'll do really well.
That's one of my problems with WWE right now is they don't take the best talent they have, put it at the forefront. They just take whatever they feel like making.
Yep.
The
well,
biggest
see,
talent.
I think that's starting to change a little bit with the Triple H change.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Punk's kind of helped some of the guys that way.
Yeah, and with Punk being out there and being outspoken about those guys, that's helping a lot because he's making a public aware. Am I making a public aware? It's making the company aware.
He's the last guy who'll ever keep his name from the indies, ever. He's made too much money, and now he owns his name. So he'll make money off it after he quits. So
Yep.
he'll be the last guy. That's why I like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, all those guys had, which Tyler Black stole one of my moves. His head stomp, that's my spot. So in OVW, I wasn't allowed to do the Destroyer, so I did that head stomp as my finish. In OVW, Tyler Black started working OVW right before I quit. So there you go.
That's awesome.
See, that's
Inside baseball, folks.
back in the day, people used to ask if they could use a finisher. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he doesn't know me, and I'm nobody to him, so I understand. But
Yeah.
I stole his stuff too. After that, I was like, what, that power bomb in the corner, and then the run and the kick to the face. I took that from him because trying to make things even. So
See, at least you admit to it. You're like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I took this move. So,
yeah.
but yeah, so
Squaring things up is very important.
I've got a theory on the whole Shield thing. Randy Orton is behind the Shield.
There's been Randy Orton, John Cena, and The Rock.
not Cena, not The Rock.
It's not Cena.
You think-
It's Orton.
Rock's it's too small for The Rock to do, and he's too busy. And Cena will never be a heel.
All right.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to Cena and heels here. But my thing is, Orton right now is working too hard to get Big Show and Sheamus on the same page. And it's just like, why is
Orton doesn't want to do this match? You can tell by looking at him; he has no fire in the ring, and
he wants.
There's another wellness policy. It failed twice. One more, he's done.
Oh, Orton?
Yeah, he'll never fail another one though. They won't let him go.
No, yeah, they'll do the magic on that one and sprinkle a little fairy dust and what wellness? Oh, we're back to 0.
Yeah, because TNA would snatch up on a heartbeat. He'd be a champion within a week. So.
Oh yeah. Although that would actually help TNA a lot.
Yeah.
And unless they had Hogan still doing creative for it.
Hogan will go over him too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand the angles that he's trying to write, like the Aces and A thing.
The Kurt.
You mean? I'm sorry, NWO.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, NWO. What?
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is Dave Lagana's their head writer, which is Ring of Honor's. Used to be Ring of Honor's head writer. Used to be SmackDown's head writer, and he's using old WCW storylines, which is weird. So I guess maybe trying to please Hogan. I don't know, but
You gotta
now we're getting completely off of it.
You got to keep the band happy, but yeah. So I think the Shield's gonna win.
Probably. I hope so.
I think if my theory's right, Orton's behind it. Orton said, "Hey, I'm behind it." Blah blah blah. They beat up Sheamus and Big Show. Let's set up a whole big run with them. They have to get another 2 people, and down the line, that's another 6 months of.
I think your way sounds better, but I think it's going to be a completely generic finish. They're going to come in. They're all going to take big finishers. Take the bro kick, the choke slam, RKO, and they'll pin, then babyface will celebrate.
Really?
It'll be generic,
Yeah.
and it'll be very disappointing.
I-
Your way's better, but I don't think it'll
I
happen.
think I think the Shield has to win.
You're
because
putting
these
too much
are-
thought behind this because it's definitely not going to be the way you think it is.
Well, I think they have to win
But
because
his way is better though.
It is a better way.
I mean, they have.
It's too big for that segment.
It's too slightly epic. You're like,
They've
man,
got-
that'd be so amazing. And then
But
usually what
they're not-
happens is they
if
get...
the Shield loses, they get buried.
Split them up.
Yeah, you always go
Yeah.
in thinking it's going to be epic, and then Cena wins.
Oh, easy. A 5.
That's so true. And now that's...
The Royal Rumble. We were watching the Rumble. We were like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be epic."
Spoiler
This
alert.
Ryback is gonna win, and all of a sudden, it's like we saw Cena. It's like, "Oh, we know who's gonna win now."
Spoiler alert.
I have a good Ryback story, but I don't know if I can tell it on air.
Yay!
Well, how was talking about drug use on the air? Is that a nay or yay? Or?
Oh, we can talk
Oh,
about
no,
it.
no.
Yeah.
Well, he makes he was in OVW when we were. He actually failed the Wellness Plus twice before he even came up to main roster. They put him in a tag team called High Dosage as a joke with him and another guy who had failed the Wellness policy. And I personally saw him making steroids in his kitchen in a muffin pan. So there's that. You can do that. You can actually
Wow.
cook the oil or whatever and dump the powder in. But yeah, so he's one drug test away from being gone anyway.
Oh man.
Oh,
that's
but
hilarious.
I love the crowd chants are amazing. Every time he comes out, he hears "Goldberg, go." I'm like, they see right through you.
Well, I love that he actually likes. He's like, it's such an honor to be called Goldberg. I'm such a
Wow,
big
a guy
fan."
couldn't work. Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
I don't like Goldberg. First of all, Bret Hart never injured anyone his entire career. Then Goldberg gave him 3 concussions in like 10 minutes. So
Yeah, that really that touches a nerve because Bret Hart was my favorite wrestlers of all time.
and Bret Hart even said, I was watching an interview, one of his older interviews. If you wrestle correctly, you're not going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
He said it. It was like, and it was like, wow, that makes sense because you wrestled Goldberg and you got hurt pretty bad.
I was actually talking to someone. What was it? The guy who's Chris Burns. We used to work with Circuit City. His daughter is dating a guy that's a pro wrestler up in I think the Canton area.
what's his name? I know about everybody in the area usually.
Well, this guy, you may have heard, he just announced he was retiring like this week. Someone took him up for a suplex or something, and it was a really big dude, and he usually wrestles like smaller guys, and he landed on his side
Most
wrong.
likely untrained.
Yep.
Here's the thing about people who retire, I'm making finger quotes, retire.
Air quotes.
Because you can't retire if you haven't done anything. Like, I didn't retire. I just quit. You know what I mean? So, you're not really retiring if you didn't have a career. Did you make a living out of it? If you made a living out of it, then it's a career. You know, he retired. But if you just did it as a hobby and then you just don't do it anymore, then, yeah, you quit. But go ahead.
Well, speaking of Ryback, let's talk about the Ryback Mark Henry match.
Oh, well, I know you're a fan of Mark Henry.
I love Mark Henry.
I think
Henry's pretty cool.
For a big guy, he can work. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's probably the best consistent, the best big guy who can go against any of the smaller guys and put on a really good match.
He's lucky because his look will work into he's almost 50 because he's not like super muscular and he's just, you know, a big guy. Well, he can keep that forever, so he's always going to look the same. Where Ryback, you got to worry about him failing wellness policies. If you push him to the moon and he fails, now what? Mark Henry's not going to fail wellness policies. He's consistent. He's got charisma. I like him. I don't think he should ever be, you know, heavyweight champion, but he's a consistent upper mid card guy.
Yeah, he's definitely an upper mid card guy, and I do love Mark Henry. I've always loved Mark Henry ever since the Nation of Domination days.
I didn't love Sexual Chocolate. That was just funny.
It was funny.
It was a waste.
It wasn't good for him.
It was a waste. But back in the Attitude Era,
I really like Coming to America.
They had so much talent. Okay,
that's what that's from.
What, Sexual Chocolate?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it was used before that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to Wikipedia that or something. Anyways,
fact check.
I think that match. I think Mark Henry's going to lose to keep the Ryback streak going. Unfortunately, well, you know, we need. I would rather the Shield win than our Ryback at this point because Ryback has been underutilized this entire time. So,
well, I mean, I'm kind of leaning for Henry in this one. If Henry wins, then Ryback's got a big mountain to climb, and that's going to be in his pocket for a long time. Wow, I have to beat this Mark Henry guy. I can't move on until I beat Mark Henry.
I don't think they'll do it. If it wasn't Mania, I would say you're right, but at Mania they won't. They'll put Ryback over just because he's their next big thing.
So they'll probably have like all the good guys win up until
mid card.
The main events.
Yeah.
We got what?
Well, our next match would be the tag team championship match. Would be Team Hell No versus Big E and Dolph Easy.
I hate singles guys paired together and thrown into a tag team.
I think Daniel Bryan is a great wrestler. Bryan Danielson, wherever you want to,
DBD.
He is a great wrestler. You know, watched him in Ring of Honor. Him and Tyler Black. They had. I remember one match. I was like, wow, that's really impressive. These guys are just, you know, look like two Joe Schmoes, and they're so impressive in the ring, and that's what, you know, WWE needs. And you know, Kane, he's powerful. Why isn't he destroying people? You know, Rhodes Scholars is a good concept for a tag team, but the tag team champs shouldn't be the champs, even though we enjoy their hilarity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're entertaining.
I like the fact that we're back to developing tag teams. We actually have tag team names.
Real tag teams, yeah.
We've got the prime time players. You've got, I mean, they're back to saying, hey, you know what? Let's put some effort into the tag team division. Now, I'm saying that it's not the greatest effort they're putting into it. No, but they're putting effort into it.
But a little bit of effort goes a long way to revitalizing a part of the industry that was like something I enjoyed when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I love tag team back in the day.
Yeah, when you're like, dude, I love those guys.
Daniel Bryan, a little bit off subject, but Daniel Bryan and John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, they wrestled in Chillicothe, and John Moxley was their champ at the time, and Daniel Bryan Danielson, he was the Ring of Honor champ at the time. They were so late getting there. They stalled the show. It started at 7. They stalled it till 11. Daniel Bryan didn't get there till 11 o'clock. John Moxley went out and cut a promo for like 30 minutes out there just talking and waiting for him. Well, they showed up. He went straight to the ring, never met each other, shook hands in the ring for the first time ever, and still worked like a 30-minute amazing match. So both those dudes, awesome.
See, I think that's the thing. We need to get some of the big guys out of the way. Let the new talent that's going to be good rise up. You know?
Yes. Well, I think we're going to see new tag team champions. Because, there's AJ Lee. Ugh.
Well, okay, here's the thing that I've been hearing is a possibility that going with this match. They may inject Caitlyn in and make it for all the titles. So if Ziggy and Biggie win,
they're gonna win.
Then AJ will be the Divas champion.
And
they'll be the tag champs.
And that's a feasibly good idea because then now AJ has a whole lot of heat on her. And she's the champion, and Caitlyn's chasing her, and then she's got the Bella Twins to deal with. and when is Alicia Fox still wrestling? I haven't even seen her. I mean, when Natalia is going to get back into the picture, God knows when that's going to happen.
She's a valet for Kali. She got that.
Yeah, she got.
It's not like she's a good wrestler or anything. Oh wait, she's actually probably
Really
the
good.
best they have.
The best they have, yeah. Because I miss Beth.
She is not
so
shredded
much.
though, so
I miss.
She
Beth
still looks
Phoenix.
good though.
she does. I no argument there. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, but compared to some other women, that's probably. I mean, I assume why she's not ripped.
No.
Yep.
She doesn't look like a stripper. She looks like a hot
wrestler.
chick.
Yeah, who can wrestle.
You know, like back in the day, Medusa. You know,
Or even Trish back in the day wasn't like.
Yeah.
and she was a fitness model, and
Yeah.
she still wasn't all that like bony and stuff.
Well, I think that again, Dolph Ziggler. If that's the case, then they're definitely going to win. They're going to get all the titles, and then the Punish Swagger. Ziggler will cash in at Mania.
Actually, I kind of want that.
Why wait till July? He'll
Yeah.
cash in at Mania. He'll beat Swagger.
The only problem with that's good. The only problem with it is that's a heel cashing in on a heel. Who's going to care? I mean,
Well-
WWE has never done that ever.
Well, then, and that's the case. Then Del Rio will win.
There you go.
And then he'll.
That's what I'm thinking.
and then
I think you don't give Jack Swagger even a 1 minute title run when he's been in trouble. You just go ahead and let Del Rio win and then cash in because they won't. They've never done it. They've never done a heel versus a heel. So as a main,
And then Del Rio wins, and then Ziggler cashes in. Boom! Now he's the tag team champion, world heavyweight champion, and his girlfriend's the Divas champion, and they're running SmackDown.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that because now all of SmackDown is trying to catch up to the other. I mean, all the heels own SmackDown basically.
I don't like Del Rio, but I know I'm weird. Most people probably like him.
Actually, I'm not
They're
a big fan of
they're
him.
trying.
I'm one of the few people that I think like Del Rio.
They're trying
They're
to.
trying to-
None of you guys do.
They're trying to make him Eddie, and they
That's
can't.
not happening.
No,
Eddie
I just
actually,
think he's funny.
he's not as funny as like Eddie Guerrero though.
I think Eddie's
but
more naturally.
Eddie
funny.
Guerrero was like
Yeah.
a different kind of funny though.
Exactly.
You mean like the funny that I laugh at instead of feel sorry for?
Oh.
Yeah, not sad clown funny versus haha funny.
Okay,
What?
I mean, what else do we have?
No.
Is Cesaro wrestling?
Yeah, Cesaro supposedly is going to wrestle against Sin Cara at some point, and he's going to put his U.S. title on the line.
And watch he loses to Sin Cara.
You know,
He's just another wasted talent.
since Cesaro is a great talent with his giant nipples, and I had to bring it up. One's
Rony nips.
one's like huge. And
He
it looks
does have. I
disgusting.
didn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got Rony nips.
it's a bit much. He needs the surgery like The Rock had. But anyways, he's a great wrestler. I've watched him wrestle a lot. I'm like, this guy is amazing, and yet they have him doing these horrible matches with the subpar people. Get him in the ring with good talent that can wrestle, have some great 20-minute matches.
They put Orton under to him clean. Well, I was surprised by that here. It's been a month ago, maybe?
Yeah. He probably got caught complaining too much about wanting to go heel. And they're like, oh, you want to go heel, do you? Oh,
It
hey,
was
we've got a
right
match
when he
for
came
you.
back from the wellness policy failure, so that's
Yep.
probably part of that.
They're not above that. They're like, oh, hey, so, you just came back from doing a little something? All right. Well, here, you got to earn the right to come back, even though you've earned the right to come back by legal standards. It's terrible. I mean, well, it's funny because, I have my little WWE league that I've created a character for all of these guys. Well, actually, he created his own, he modified his own. He liked the one I made. But the funny thing is, this one guy didn't attend the last wrestling show we had,
Justin Boyce.
Royal Rumble. And so what I did was I depowered him. So, I get the wanting to punish someone.
Our tag team suffered, and I was hateful.
They were tag team
You
champs.
sound like Vince McMahon over there.
Well, you called me that before.
If he doesn't
so-
create you, then he destroys you.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
tears you down
Which-
brick by brick.
That takes us to the next segment, or next match. Fandango.
Oh, good.
So they just...
Why does this
Jer-
say
Django,
Jer-
like
Jericho loses.
I can see that. Well, it's Vince's pet project, so he loves Fandango.
Yeah, you know that
Well,
website
Jericho
where you go to
Jericho
get, like,
wrestles
movie
whenever he.
tickets.
Jericho's got that contract
Have
where
them
he can
printed
come
out
in
for you?
and go when he pleases.
Theater? No.
Well, actually, they made that joke on TV.
Really?
Yeah, that was a joke. He
Yeah, that
said-
makes my head hurt.
Jericho's like, can you,
Did they get some
can
ad
you
money
give me
for that or
can you get
something,
some
or-
tickets for me?
So, do you remember, I don't know, did you ever watch Tri-State here when I was here. Okay, well, we had this one guy, and they were going to make him wear a mask because he was so ugly. True story. And no one liked him. He was just a jerk, and no one liked him. Well, we're in the back, and
He was an ugly jerk.
he's an ugly jerk. And Arpin goes, "Hey, we need a name for him. We're putting this lucha mask on. It was a psychosis mask that had been altered." And I worked at the movie theater at the time. I was only like 20 years old. And I jokingly said El Fandango. That became this guy's name, and he worked that name for like 6 years. So there's already been a Fandango, but yeah.
El Fandango.
El Fandango, yeah.
That's so terrible.
It's awful.
Pretty
yeah.
good.
I said it as a joke, but he went with it.
That's
So.
hey.
That the second worst weird name like that I had to say was back in was it WCW when I forget his full name. He's a roadie now, but it was Jamie San when he.
Oh yeah.
What was that guy's name? He was part of the the Bulldogs or no the Pit Bulls.
Pit Bulls, yeah.
Right. And he, it's like we have
Jamie Noble. You're talking about?
Jamie Noble. There we go.
Yeah.
He's
West Virginia legit.
Mm-hmm. Which, I accept him as someone representing West Virginia more than Heath Slater.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That ginger.
Three-man band.
Oh!
I'm
Sorry.
I'm friends with Drew, so I feel so bad for him being in that. And he's amazing. He was such a good worker down in OVW. Him and Wade Barrett were a tag team in OVW. That was amazing. And now... No.
Now he's
Well, you know why? It's that girl he married. What was her name?
Well, they're divorced now,
Yeah,
right?
Tiffany, yeah.
Was Taryn Terrell.
Yeah.
She's down in TNA. She was the ref.
Oh, really?
She was the official Knockouts referee, and then she moved to wrestler because she got in a fight with Gail Kim. And who's a better wrestler?
Who's the best wrestler in TNA right now? Hands down is Gail Kim.
Right,
They will make it work.
But Taryn Terrell's still gonna win anyways to make everyone happy, and she's a pretty blonde. Blah 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 blah. I don't
Gail
care.
Kim works, and the
Victoria's good too, don't
Yeah.
there? So.
Oh yeah, she is. She's great. They
She's
make
still got life left.
all the good women wrestlers said, "Hey, we're gonna go to TNA because we actually wrestle over there."
yeah. I mean,
That's why Mickey James just left.
Mickey James,
That
great wrestler.
she can have her singing career too. But
hardcore country. That's me.
H and Brock Lesnar. What we got for H and Brock Lesnar?
I don't know how it's gonna go. I think it's gonna
I'd like
be brutal.
to see Brock Lesnar break Triple H in half and just spew his entrails all over.
I feel
the
they'll put Lesnar over if he re-signed. I don't know if he re-signed for years.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If he re-signed, then Lesnar.
Rumor has it that there's supposed to be a match coming up this year with Rock and Brock at some point.
We've seen that already, though.
that Rock.
SummerSlam 2002.
Yeah, and
broke his brain.
Brock destroyed him.
Rock and Brock Road.
Brock destroyed him. We've seen this already. We've seen this match.
Yeah, but the kids haven't.
If they do, it'll be for Rock to get back over on him because Lesnar left him high and dry, and Rock always comes back, so it'll be Vince going, okay, now we put you over the Rock, and that was a mistake, so now we're just going to have the Rock go over you.
I think, the Rock, or was it Brock, doesn't care because he's just getting paid.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have to do the road anymore. Because that was one of the complaints I remember. He's like, I couldn't do the road.
50
too
dates
hard.
is all he works a year.
Road was
Something
too
like that. Not
hard.
even 50, maybe. It's like Goldberg. Goldberg worked 100 dates is all he had. So.
Note the time, sir.
Yeah, but I think I got Triple H winning. Only because the last two times these guys have met, the arm was broken and Triple H lost. And this way, with HBK in his corner, they both get some kind of redemption.
I'm a Triple H mark, so I always want him to go over just because I love him, but I'm biased.
Well, he had nothing, and he reinvented himself, and then he reinvented himself. He was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then he reinvented himself for DX.
And then again for the intense 2000 Triple H, and then again for the 2003 I'm an aristocrat type, rich.
The whole evolution
thing, and then again to be the King of Kings, So
he just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it.
He's talented.
And he's done awesome with everything he's ever done, in my opinion. But
Well, Bischoff, we've all probably heard this. He said that he would have won. He thinks he would have won the Monday Night Wars if he had Triple H.
Yeah.
Because he's got the ideas, he's got the talent, but the problem is they still would have listened to everything Hogan said.
Hogan said.
Yeah.
Hogan would have buried him.
That would have been depressing.
That
That would have been really depressing. He had to come back on his hands and knees, like, "Hey Vince, it's me, Paul. Can I work here?"
So that I guess that leads up to our championship matches, right?
Cena, without a doubt.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, so.
Probably.
You know what's funny is last year,
I'm
people asked me at my work, and I said, well, Cena, it doesn't make sense unless they bring The Rock back to lose to him next WrestleMania. And they are. And that's got to be what it is.
I love that they called it once in a lifetime, and then they said, next year we're doing it again. Like the day later.
Title. I'm going Rock. I'm going Rock because I think we're going to see the Cena heel turn.
I think that
I don't think
Cena...
He's not going to go Prince Arthur on his guys. Come on.
Okay, but did you see...
Have you seen the promos? He's cutting. He's just...
I haven't seen the promos because I don't feel like being unpleasantly surprised and go, oh, that's how it's going to go.
The crowd...
Primo's terrible. Never watch him. He's awful.
Promo, whatever.
Well, it's Primo, too. A guy named Primo. And he's awful.
I just don't want... I know the moment I heard that Cena was in with The Rock, I was like, this is completely uninteresting. I'm not a John Cena fan.
Well,
that's the problem. It's not just us anymore, and it's not just the guys anymore. This is a thing that you hear everywhere you go now. You hear the boo. And
You're going to be surprised. I think John Cena is fantastic. If I was running WWE, he'd be my guy.
No, don't get me wrong.
I know.
Well,
don't get me
that's
wrong.
the worker.
He can work like no one's business.
Plus, he's a machine. I mean, the dude sleeps 3 hours a night. He's in the best shape of anyone. He never fails a drug test policy. The kids love him. He's charismatic every single night. His
promos are starting to suffer, though. I think he doesn't have... Well, maybe it's just this feud, but he doesn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught when they were chanting, boring.
And he stopped.
I was like, wow.
I was like,
wow.
But here's the problem. That's still a reaction. And it doesn't matter what the reaction is. If it's a chant of boring, that's still a reaction. Everyone's participating in this. When they don't participate, theirs whenever they want to do a heel turn. But as long as they're still chanting boring, then he's over. So
I guess basically they're going to wait till the time when he's like 40 and no one really cares. And then
Hogan heel turn.
Yeah, do the Hogan
do
heel
spray
turn.
paint beard and everything.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
In NWO 2020.
I don't think they'll ever do it.
Also loyalty, respect, brother.
It's like the Undertaker match. We didn't talk about that either, but it's like the Undertaker match. They've gone too far. You can't put him under now. They just won't because
when you have the respect of his like dead sidekick like all over the place, you can't have the Undertaker. Like seriously, if you think about it this way, the Undertaker is fighting for Paul Bearer's like.
Honor,
his honor, fighting for his soul, and air quotes. But
remember, canonically or whatever you want to say, he was his father.
Yeah, so it's a revenge thing, and like this man actually died in real life. It wasn't like some terrible thing they'd written in. It actually happened, and for Undertaker to be like to lose to that, I would think I would be like wrestling is. Now,
what was it when who was it?
Slightly more worthless.
Orton was working someone. It might have been Benoit. Censor Benoit's name out, but it might have been who? It might have been. And he said, "Hey, whenever you point up and look at Eddie, you're looking at the wrong spot because Eddie's not in heaven. Eddie's in hell." You remember that? Orton cut that promo going into some pay-per-view, and I think he was working Benoit at the time. So I mean, if they do something like that, I mean, this is nothing really. To say a guy who recently died is in.
He did it with Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio, that's who it was.
It was the 2000 WrestleMania 2000 because it was him, Kurt Angle, and
not 2000 because Eddie's still alive.
Oh no, sorry, would it be 2001? Was it 2001?
No, it's like 2005.
Five, okay.
Yeah.
And when they were at the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, I remember this. That was a good year.
That was back when he was Legend Killer still, right?
Yeah, and that's when they put Rey over.
That was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Kurt Angle is a wrestling machine.
He is.
He put on he put them in a wrestling clinic like no one's business. That match.
I really wish that Vince had let Kurt, heal.
Stay on drugs.
Oh, that whatever it took, because that man, give him a vacation, give him let him go to Thailand, Bangkok, whatever.
What happened was he tried to failed for painkillers, which he said he was doing 60 Vicodin a day. crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Failed for painkillers. Tried to rehab while traveling on the road. Failed again. Said he couldn't. Went to Vince. Said I can't do it. You know, I just can't. And so Vince said, "Well, you want us to give you a release?" Said yes. And then a week later, he signed with TNA and said he was clean. So he's not, obviously.
Right.
But
Well, his whole thing was, he said, "Oh, I've got this hernia and blah blah blah."
that's why he's working through a lot of injuries.
Yeah, why don't you just take some time off and not worry about it for a while? You've
Take
got,
some time off and heal up.
He's
and come
crazy.
back.
yeah,
He's a machine.
it's terrible to see such a talent that's also
Wasted.
nuts. Yeah, I mean, look at
He's done some great matches in TNA. He has. He's done some really good matches, and he's put some people over. But at the same time, what is he doing now?
I don't even know.
aces and eights.
Exactly.
That's what TNA is doing now, and no one really knows what's going on. They're like
Just
aces and eights.
I mean, he just
It's on right now, and I'm not
he
sure
should
I care.
he should be world heavyweight champion of TNA. Bobby,
he's not.
he should be going against Bobby Roode for the championship or something.
I love
That would
Bobby
be
Roode.
a killer match.
You don't like Bobby Roode?
I love Bobby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode's an amazing talent.
He's a classic wrestler.
He
He
is.
really is, and that's the great thing about him. And we need more of him. And I enjoy AJ Styles,
I like AJ.
Of course,
but
this recent
I don't know what
turn,
they're doing with him. I
This
don't.
recent Stone Cold Stone Cold AJ Styles.
Mhm.
Oh, they don't even know what they're doing.
No, they really don't. They did the same. I mean, they've admitted they did the same thing
You know
with
what's
James
funny?
Storm. James Storm last year.
Is a lot of people complain about the Cena thing. Like you guys are talking about how AJ Styles is John Cena. He does the same spots. He wrestled City Park Pavilion down here.
Mm-hmm.
He did the same spots in that match that he'll do this week on TNA. I mean, it's the exact same stuff. Send you in, leapfrog, drop down, drop kick. You know, he does the same thing. He'll backflip over, grab, reverse DDT. I mean, I can work his match for him. I've seen it so many times. But then no one complains about it. Why? Because I don't know why.
Because he's the phenomenal AJ Styles.
I guess he gets a
And,
pass.
and I mean,
He's got 5 moves of doom, just like the
yeah, just like Cena. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
But his
He-
moves are more entertaining than
Yeah.
You Can't See Me.
Yeah, but
So,
you know, also they don't make as much sense. I think that reverse DT. Why do you backflip into DT? I see doing it as a
don't.
counter one time, but doing it all the time doesn't make sense.
No.
It's like the 619 doesn't make any sense all the time.
No,
here
I
and
don't.
there when a guy randomly falls on ropes, but he randomly does it. Don't do that. If you're you're wrestling Rey Mysterio, don't fall on the rope like that. You know, it's
you're,
just a
you're
silliness.
trying to bring logic into it, and you know that the majors don't know how to
Yeah.
work with
well,
logic.
how come? Okay, I do this too. I've done this for years. If I hit you with a drop kick, I'm okay. But if I don't kick you, I'm hurt. Why? I took the same bump. I landed the same way, but you know, I don't know. Why do we turn around when we get thrown on the ropes? I get thrown on the ropes when it makes sense. Just grab hold, not turn around and hit them. So I'm forced to go the other way. If we get thrown to them, just grab them. But we're getting into a whole other
Yeah, I know.
region here. But
It's like we're gonna take the magic away from
Yeah,
wrestling a little bit.
yeah.
Sorry, There's
I'm
no
a
Santa
bitter. I'm a
Claus.
bitter old man. I've wrestled
Wait.
too many
You
matches.
said magic and wrestling in the same sentence?
Well, you know we
Magic
haven't
the wrestling.
we have been talking about the Undertaker, so
Yeah.
you know. All right, I gotta say that I've
That's
always
not really
wanted.
magic.
Does no one predict Punk to win? Just out of curiosity.
I
You think Punk will win?
I think there's a chance that Punk could win, and I just because
I think
I think
I'm
there's
tired
probably
of it.
about a
Here's-
50-50 chance.
I think maybe
I say
what
10%,
might
but yeah.
happen is Punk wins.
Either
It'll
win
go
or
on,
lose.
and it'll be a relatively epic match, and the Undertaker will get the urn back.
Punk's got to take time off after this.
Yeah, and then Punk would win it, I guess.
So I say it even makes Punk less chance to win if he's got to take time off. You're not going to put a guy over and then he just doesn't do anything. Because then he should ride that high. If he's beating the Undertaker, he needs to ride the high, and he can't.
Well, I think what's going to happen is he's going to. All right, this is a very feasible possibility. He beats him. Undertaker loses due to unnecessary roughness or something like that.
or
He gets
a count out or
disqualified,
something.
count out, and then he just destroys Punk in the ring. Like, you know, what was it with the match last year with Triple H, which was
So the streak
Probably
still
the best
still
match.
ends,
I
but
love that
Undertaker
match.
That was
kind of
amazing.
redeems himself, and
right. Like he destroys Punk. Punk doesn't come back for a month or two.
Because he's so banged up.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a feasible way to do it, where like the Undertaker loses
But
on
why
one
do
counter
it?
or something, and then he climbs back in the ring and just annihilates.
Because you're still
him.
putting heat on CM Punk.
Does Punk need it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. He's champion for a year. Just here
Yeah,
months
and,
ago.
and still, no one knew. I mean, no one cared.
I don't know. I don't think he needs it. I think if anyone should have beat him, it should be someone who can live off that push forever. Punk's
Cena.
already 35 years old.
Cena.
So he doesn't got a ton of time in the business life.
You see,
But also-
Cena beat the Undertaker.
The
Actually-
internet would riot. It would shut
Yeah.
down. Like,
No, I can see
It would
people wanting
implode
that,
the
though.
wrestling scene of that show. Everyone would just be like, "I'm not gonna see this anymore." I mean, really?
See, I've always thought it should have been someone that takes his dark power. You know what I mean? Like Kane or
Picks
Kane,
up the mantle.
Or
Yeah.
they could have someone come in. They could speed rocket them to the top in time for the title. They could beat the Undertaker, and they would become the new Undertaker by a passing of the mantle. He would take his like crazy undead ridiculousness, and because I've always liked the Undertaker. He's
It's
always,
a cool gimmick.
He's always been my go-to wrestler because he just annihilates people.
You would have to find someone that had the same moveset. You had to teach him all the movesets.
He could take the move set by like taking the Undertaker's
I don't-
soul by beating
I think
him.
the problem is not like them. You can get any 6'10" big guy to do the Undertaker's moves. There's just no
Yeah.
one who has that kind of work. Like timing is everything. There's just nobody.
And
That's
he is-
what's wrong with
no.
business. Period. But
and Taker is good on his. I mean, you even saw. I mean, he works his matches. Even that match with HBK when he couldn't get up afterwards, or Triple H when he couldn't get up afterwards. He still worked that match. He still put the triangle choke on him. No, I'm like, that's awareness. That's ring awareness.
his selling is spectacular for a guy. He's at the same time he sells well and takes a good beating, and then is unbeatable. You know what I mean? He does both, which is tough. So
Well, someone's got to slay the dragon eventually, or else he just has to call it quits. Because, I mean, how old is he now? He's like 49.
he's 49, 50. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
you can't. That's the thing. It's like he can't just retire undefeated. Someone has to take the mantle from him. So
I don't know. If you think about Triple H now, basically is half running and stuff anymore, transitioning over. In an interview he did before anyone had ever worked, he said no one should ever beat the Undertaker. I hope that no one ever does. And it's a shoot interview. Well, if he has any say in it, they won't. I mean, obviously he jobbed to him twice, so he thought it was So if he has enough say, I don't think he will. I think out of respect for Taker and all he's done, that Vince will never put him under. Just out of respect, because he's never left. He's never held him up for money. He's never. So, in my opinion, I think it'll never happen.
He let him get away with the American Badass thing.
Yeah, he let him do his own thing. Yeah,
Which is nah.
awful.
Yeah, it was awful. But the thing, I mean, you're right though. Taker didn't leave, and he didn't hold him up, and he look.
Could got a lot more money too. WCW
No,
was
right here.
handing out big paychecks. So
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
Spider! There's
Would
a
you
spider!
you
There's a
wanna
spider!
Take that out
Oh.
of here and smash it.
It's just a spider.
Oh, Marquise.
seriously, take it out of here and smash it.
Yeah.
You lost your man card. Leave.
You just did
That's fine.
the world's strongest clap.
Spider
To crush a
crushing
spider
beam.
that wasn't even the
Spider's
size of a
gonna
dime.
get crushed now. Sorry,
I couldn't even see it.
That's how I do. That's what I do.
But you save Eli from.
Yeah, I say.
Anyway.
Thanks, Marquise.
So I think the Undertaker probably. I mean, if it were up to me, I think the Undertaker would beat CM Punk, and just crush him
I think I think we all want like something interesting to happen.
I want the
but it's
Undertaker
not
to
gonna
win
happen.
because I like the Undertaker.
they're going to tease. They're going to tease the disqualification a billion times on the floor. That's
I
going to be
want
the
it,
tease. It's not going to be the tease like Triple H pedigree and beating with the chair, almost pin. They've done it too much. So this tease will be can Undertaker control it, and it's going to be
It'll be
the whole
the.
match.
Is it going to be? But the question is it going to be to the point where it makes the match uninteresting? Where you're like, this is the most drawn out and boring.
They
thing
can't
I've
do
ever
that.
seen.
CM Punk and Taker can't. Those guys cannot make a match uninteresting. They just. I
They
mean,
could. They probably could.
I think Punk's got something to prove, and no matter what
he's gonna empty the tank, especially if he knows he's got time
He's a big
off.
match guy. Yeah.
He's gonna empty the tank, and we know Taker. This is his one match a year. He's gonna empty the tank.
It really is.
He is gonna go all
Did he do the
out.
dive this year?
Yeah,
I don't
He
think
hasn't
he
done
will.
it in a while. I don't know. Last time he did it, he power drove himself on the floor, and then he rose up and looked like he's going to throw up. But
Well, that was what was
that was the year he. That was.
was it Michael's year or was it Triple H year? Triple H year, he actually, I think he hit it. The first Triple H match.
Yeah, the
It-
first
it-
one he.
it was Michael's. It was what's that guy's name? It was he was gonna be part of Evolution, but he wasn't.
Oh, I don't know.
He was one of the two guys that Cherry was their manager, and
You talking about Deuce and Domino?
Yeah, and then
Snuka Jr.?
Yeah, Snuka Jr. He dropped him. He was supposed to catch him, and he screwed up.
We had
And just
another
drop
we
it.
had another name for him in OVW, but I
Oh,
can't
boy.
say it on here. So. It rhymes with Deuce, so I'll give you that.
Aw.
So there you go.
What?
He was a jerk. It's
And then
all right.
we've I think we've covered everything. We've covered the Del Rio swagger run, basically how we think that's going to roll out.
Yeah, we don't really care about it except that we want Ziggler to get the title
This
from
is
Del
slightly
Rio.
turning out to be most wrestling events where I only care about like 15% of the entire pay-per-view, and the rest I just kind of want to hang out with my friends. And
First of all, $70? Really?
It's a bit much.
That's
It's
crazy.
Yeah, I'm a little leery about it, but
It's 70 this year.
yeah,
Yep.
because
How much was it
now
last
What?
60.
so,
Remember when it was $30?
No,
What is Vince
Yeah.
smoking?
yeah, I do.
They must be smoking our money.
I'm
It
guessing
must.
No, they're not smoking it. They're just rolling around in it.
Scrooge McDucking it.
Pile.
Yeah,
They're gonna rake all the dollars into a big pile
Yeah.
and run through it
Yeah.
like a 6-year-old. And
He can keep that up, and
leaves.
he's going.
The Rock's not cheap.
No, he's not. Well, and you got Brock Lesnar too. So
So they got to pay for the big names, when all they really need to do to fix this problem is to let some of the younger talent and the quality shine through.
You're talking logical now.
You know, for the Triple H Randy Orton main event for Mania, what was that, 25, I think? Randy Orton got paid $600,000 for,
Wow.
what was that, 20 minutes? I mean, he did take a beating, but...
Really?
So think how much they're paying The Rock.
Okay.
millions.
Yeah. But they paid Brett $1 million, was it, for the whole lead up for the... they counted all the Raws he did leading up to him and McMahon, and then him versus McMahon. I think he got $1 million.
That's so crazy.
You get $1 million
I don't
for
even
taking
believe
a beating.
He gave a beating, too. Brett did. He didn't even have to take it.
Crazy.
But,
My favorite Vince match was the Vince Shawn Michaels match of 2005 when the first signs of DX getting back together. It was when he put him in the garbage can, he rolled him on the table, he climbed up the 25-footer, gave him the chop, elbow drop. I was like, yes, that's the HBK I want to see, folks.
greatest worker of all time.
Yeah,
I had some problems with him just over the years, just because I felt like, I know he worked really hard and he deserved everything he got, but sometimes I felt like he may have held a couple of people down, him and Triple H. But they did, because it was very competitive back then.
Who do you think? Let's hear a name.
How long ago was that?
Shane Douglas is a common name, but I don't think Shane Douglas is that talented. He's a guy who gets brought up a lot that they held down because he didn't like them, they didn't like him, but...
He was a very talented. He could cut a promo, and
He was upper mid-card.
Yeah,
That's all I give him.
I thought he was decent in the ring, but he was also short, and that's the problem. Nowadays, it would have been fine.
Yeah, he'd be much better now, yeah.
Which is really weird because we have all these little guys. All the giants, they're doing basketball and football and stuff. So they're like, we want to get the big money, or
Plus-
we're not doing anything.
Yeah, you get the smaller, leaner guys can pass their wellness policy, too. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
Dana Bryan,
They're on
CM
a roll,
Punk,
yeah.
So,
and I guess that's why they brought the guys in the Shield up, because those guys are,
Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a
he's
Batista
a little
wannabe, but
but
the other two, yeah.
but if you look at him, he's not that big.
Tyler Black straight edge, too, so I don't have to worry about any drugs for him.
I think he's a good talent. I want to see more stuff from him. I think that
What's his WWE name?
um,
Tyler Black.
Rollins, Seth Rollins. Yeah. I think there's a really good opportunity with the Shield. If at some point they start getting titles or something like that, whatever. But just the current gimmick of showing all the problems of WWE and bringing them out and saying this is actually a problem, and it really is a problem. That's the funny thing. It's not like they're just bringing stuff up out of their butt. They're actually saying this is wrong. Was it Zack Ryder just got buried when that's all people wanted to see? They're like, bring us woo woo woo. I'm not saying he's a great wrestler. I'm not saying he's a great talent. He's okay, but he, on his own, made a YouTube show, made it super popular. People loved it. And then they tried to steal that charisma and put it into other people.
And then they made him cancel it.
And they made him cancel it. And the thing with Daniel Bryan, when he was doing the Yes, 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 and they're like, well, we'll take that to other people and see if we can make them
See. No.
No.
That's why it doesn't really work when people
It's forced.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't really like Del Rio. I mean, he was a good heel, but he needs to change his gimmick up a little bit, do something. I know he went face, woohoo, I don't care, but I don't know. But I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Well,
we're going to cover with WrestleMania right now until, of course, WrestleMania, when we're going to have a live tweet. So I think our listeners need to get in on that and enjoy it.
And I guess we're going to have to start watching TNA again.
why?
Well, I'm going to watch it after this. Well, actually, you guys watched it last week. I've been watching it this whole time.
I didn't really watch it as I suffered.
I suffered through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're going to have to
It
start
was-
suffering through it because if
We
we're
were suffering for the people.
yeah.
Like Shima Zion's a friend of mine. I want to watch him wrestle, and they don't let him work anymore. So
They don't like
he's
it's like
good. I mean, his charisma's bad. I mean, Shima, if you ever hear this, I'm sorry, but his charisma's not good. But he's an awesome worker. So
The thing with the hairspray was a little weird.
mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's better.
It's old school.
He used to do it in. He'd do a submission hold, and they'd slide it into him, and then he'd do it while he's in the submission hold, which is kind of cool. But
That's actually really cool. I
that's
do like
better.
that.
Yeah, I dig it.
But see, the only reason I watch TNA is for the women's wrestling.
True. Well, and
Yeah.
X Division, when they actually had those
Bobby
matches.
Roode.
Well,
appearance.
Well, if
when
they're
Bobby
gonna let
Roode
Bobby
do
when
something,
they actually
yeah.
let
Magic
him
Roode
wrestle
is-
on an Impact night, God forbid they let him and Austin Aries wrestle on the Impact night nowadays.
Well, they're not part of Aces and Eights storyline.
Or Hogan storyline.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah, it's
making
like
out with
them
Hogan, so.
and then who else is Kazarian and
Watching
Daniels
TNA
are being.
Watching TNA, I almost feel bad for being a little Hulkamaniac back in the day. We were like, oh Hogan, how far have you fallen? I mean, this is like the second fall, but
Just think if it was.
you just look at it and you're like,
Just think if it was Ultimate Warrior.
That'd be hilarious.
actually, if it was Ultimate Warrior, I think I might watch it a little bit more.
It'd be
I
the
love
most.
that
It'd
guy.
be the most incoherent stuff ever. but
It doesn't
it'd
have to be
entertaining.
coherent with its Ultimate Warrior. You're just gonna shove and shake the side of the ring.
And seriously, they need to quit.
Tassels all over the place.
They need to quit teasing a match with Hogan. Like, oh, Hogan's going to wrestle again. I don't care. I don't want Hogan to wrestle
No.
again. He wasn't good, and he's not
I can't
interesting to
believe
watch.
WWE did so well with him when he came back from the WCW run there when he worked The Rock. I was surprised. That should have been the end right there. He couldn't have went out better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was at that WrestleMania in Toronto, Hogan Rock, and everyone after that match and then the main event went on, people left. So they were there for that match. So we moved up like 4 rows. So
Yeah, man.
Hogan drew even up to then.
I remember when I watched him. He was I was in Jersey and it was a Raw, and it was the night that Matt Hardy came back and assaulted Edge through the crowd.
That's a good storyline.
That was a great storyline. But it was Hogan had called it Piper had called out Hogan or whatever, and HBK gave him the sweet chin music because they were having their beef.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my goodness! I just watched HBK kick Hogan in the face. Yes.
See, Hogan should call it quits then.
And he should have called it quits then, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He had like 30 opportunities 10 years ago to just say, I'm done.
But you know what happened, right?
I don't want to know what happened.
Linda happened.
His lifestyle,
Linda happened. Give me half of everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, now I'll have to work for the rest of my life.
So this
Darn.
is random. I thought of Flair, but Reed Flair. How sad's that?
That's
that's-
messed up.
That was very tragic. Rumors of drug use, of
Heroin.
course. Yeah.
Yep.
That's, I mean, come on. And we're not talking like,
Flair.
Vicodin. We're
We're
talking
not talking-
heroin.
We're not talking Flair drugs. Flair was cocaine and booze,
Yeah.
But heroin, yeah.
That's man, that's hard.
What happened was he was overseas wrestling for New Japan. No heroin, probably. Comes back, does too much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a downer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, man.
That's the way to end it right there.
Yeah, I know. It's like, all right, everyone.
All right.
Let's wrap
Don't do
this up.
drugs. Don't do drugs.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
We're gonna take.
Drugs
I
are
feel,
bad.
I feel like the end of like an 80s like cartoons show, like G.I. Joe, where it's like, if there's a down power line, don't jump your bike over it. And you're like, don't do drugs. This is what happens.
knowing it's half the battle.
Good night, people. The other half is violence.
Body massage machine, go.
What?
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 Did
What?
the Fensler Films G.I. Joe PSAs?
Oh yeah.
No?
No, I
No.
didn't. No.
No?
No.
Alright.
And with that, welcome to the finale.
The finale, the awkwardness will continue.
So for next week, we're going to start
a bonus.
doing a table game. Game-wise, not a lot coming out. So
Yeah, this week
nothing,
it's slow.
Nothing big.
So,
Age of
Or-
Empires 2 HD, I think.
I declare
That game is
Tuesday
still
is shooter
around.
night.
Shooter night. We're going to do some
I
shooters.
declare shooter night on Tuesday.
On
Okay.
Tuesdays?
I
So
might
we're
be
gonna
here
do some
for a
better
little
shooters.
bit to,
Alright.
put
Is
some
there
holes
enough
in people.
shooters that don't
Well,
suck
you
that we
could,
could play?
you could go to
We'll
Stasis,
find 'em.
and
Oh,
we
we'll
could
find
do we could network some Halo 4 together.
Yeah, we
That's
could
You
do
know,
that.
like
My girlfriend has an
Yeah,
Xbox.
I
I
guess.
love her so much.
you and I could do split screen here. Now we can do other games too. I'm just saying, like we could end it on that.
There
note.
will be one
Yeah.
game that the next game I will be buying for the PlayStation 3 will be The Last of Us, and that will be the time that I bring it over. I might actually.
It got pushed back to, it's like not coming out till like June
Yeah,
or
he's
something
still talking
now.
about
know.
it. He's like, it's April,
I
but
know.
I'm gonna buy this game.
I know I'm gonna buy it, and I don't care, and I'll be like, I'll call and be like,
It comes out the week
I'm
after
sick
E3, I
because
think.
this game is so good.
You know,
They're probably gonna showcase it. at
You
E3.
realize we are recording, right?
I know.
yeah, he's like, I just want to talk about The
You're
Last of
just,
Us for like
you
an
have
hour
no
and a
idea.
half.
But they're probably going to showcase the crap out of it, and then like be like, this game is amazing.
You can play it tomorrow!
Yeah,
Winner
yeah.
of 9,000 E3 awards.
yeah,
The
pretty
Last of Us.
And it's available tomorrow!
That game. I mean, I've been watching the most recent like videos,
And you
stuff
get
like that,
one, and
it's
you
just-
get one, and
when
you
you-
get one.
when you're crawling through the wreckage of an overgrown city and some like fungus-faced mutant person zombie thing pops up out of nowhere and scares the crap out of you, and you got to work together, just beat it to death with some rock you found on the ground. It's just amazing, and that game is going to be great.
I agree to disagree. So, all right. So,
What?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Nathan doesn't like games, you forget.
I forgot he doesn't like good games.
I didn't like.
Next week, hopefully, I'll be playing Bioshock Infinite. Hopefully, if someone
Hopefully.
would
Hopefully I won't be
finish.
the only one that's finished it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll beat it.
when it goes on sale,
wanna talk to
I'll play through
somebody.
it. But hopefully next week I'll have everything
we still
set
won't
up.
talk about it on
so
here.
I know, we still won't talk about it on here. I just
So
want to
next-
talk to somebody
next week we-
somewhere about
Next
it.
week we start the tabletop.
Maybe next week. I get Fridays off always, so
I'm good for Fridays.
I'll read through the book. I've got the DC conversion rules, or I maybe pick up the Marvel version, but think something up. I'll talk on Tuesday. We'll talk on Tuesday.
Okay.
Talk on, yeah, check us out on Time Rust Tuesdays. We're gonna play some games like we have been, and we're gonna have some fun. We actually had some viewers last time. We hope you come on down.
Actually, what I kind of want to do with the gaming session is turn it into a web comic based on Time Rust.
That would be
Site.
fun too.
That'd be good.
Do a little Rooster Teeth Productions kind of
It
indie.
would be something kind of like Old City of Heroes, where they turned the top certain players into a comic book.
Oh, you're talking about our characters
From
in the
the
game
tabletop
itself.
game.
Okay, I thought
Put
you
it
were
in a
talking
webcomic.
about us in. Never mind. So
It'd be kind of like Penny Arcade, but I wanna start doing the webcomic stuff. So I think it'd be a perfect opportunity to showcase our own creativity with our own characters.
someone wants to do a webcomic, folks.
Yeah.
Let's get some comments about it. So that's gonna wrap it up. Check us out on Sunday for WrestleMania. We're gonna have the live tweet, and we're also thinking about possibly streaming some video games on Twitch. So hit us up on Twitch.
Because it'll be infinitely more
We wanna
interesting
thank-
than the match.
We want to thank Tim for joining us today.
Yeah.
It was awesome having
It's
you
nice
here.
meeting you, man.
And what's your wrestling name?
Vance Desmond. You can watch my archive stuff on YouTube.
Cool.
Awesome.
Hit it up. I know that these guys are definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I say we've seen you live, but yeah, we want to watch some real matches.
It
Not
was
just you
awesome
running
hearing a
in
lot
and
of the
destroying
inside
someone.
baseball stories that you brought
Inside
to us. It was
Kill
great.
me with that.
You're
The scummy
You're
world
the
of
best.
inside wrestling.
The
Yeah.
underbelly of wrestling, which
But
is quite entertaining from a couple of stories that I heard.
Oh, there's others. We'll wait till we're
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yay, story time.
He's gonna come back with some more if he wants. So it's not
Marquise
a
brought
problem.
his quilt square. He's going to take a nap.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
really
Well,
just how
How long have you had that prepared?
I just thought of it.
that was
Right off the
nice.
cuff,
That
man.
was
If I had a
hearing
sound
a little
effect
bit.
machine, I would play like a little thing for you, like an explosion or something.
That was-
sad
that was
trombone
beautiful.
sound effect.
find room in the budget. That's what you need.
That's we need.
When
first off,
we have a
we need
budget.
First item on the budget, get a budget.
Second
All
item,
right.
get a soundboard.
There you go. Then get an office. All right, so thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.
Buy more comics.
Do stuff.
Rock and roll.
What?
Listen to our podcast.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.